Well, it's been great to see some early season snow here in the Eastern Sierra. And the best news, that meant an early opener at Mammoth Mountain ski area, which opened 6 days earlier than anticipated as the gorgeous sight of the white fluffy stuff came down over the last week and a half. And more snow today, getting this video courtesy of Mammoth Mountain. Again, showing another pretty good dumpage. Now, as of this afternoon, Mammoth Mountain was reporting almost a foot of new snow and now boasts a base depth of at least 2.5 feet. Longtime Mammoth spokeswoman Joni Lynch said snow expected through tonight with another 6 inches to a foot in the forecast. Now, Mammoth Mountain open for skiing and riding from top to bottom. Lynch notes, and more lifts and terrain could open with the additional snowfall. Love this site in early November. Forecasters saying still in line for a big El Nino year. We'll have more from Mammoth Mountain and its opening day ceremony later in the broadcast. Well, Wednesday is Veterans Day, and we have some information on some of the events in the Eastern Sierra. Mammoth Lakes Recreation inviting the community to attend the annual Veterans Day event scheduled for, yes, this Wednesday, November 11th. Event will begin at 9 a.m. at the Mammoth Lakes Fire Station Department Mammoth Fire Department Station number 1, Main Street in Mammoth Lakes. Now, as that Mammoth Lakes Recreation press release notes, the purpose of Veterans Day is to celebrate the soldiers that are still alive and served in the armed forces at any time during peace or war. Now, the observance of Veterans Day honors America's veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. Now, the celebration in Mammoth Lakes, co-sponsored by a number of groups, including Mono County, Town of Mammoth Lakes, Disabled Sports Eastern Sierra, Mammoth Lakes Noon Rotary Club, the Community Emergency Response Team, CERT, as well as the Mammoth Lakes Police Department and the Mammoth Lakes Fire Department. And the Bishop VFW Post 8988 Veterans Day services to be held at the Pioneer Cemetery Wednesday, 11 a.m. Ladies Auxiliary will host a reception with refreshments at the post after that service. Also, the Big Pine American Legion Glacier Post 457 will commemorate Veterans Day. Activities will begin at 8 a.m. at the Big Pine Cemetery. American flags will be placed on each veteran's headstone, followed by placing flags on veterans' headstone at the Woodman Cemetery. Volunteers are asked to come and participate in placing the flags to honor our veterans. Public's also invited to attend the service, which will begin Wednesday, 11 a.m., Big Pine Veterans Memorial, and that's at the intersection of 395 and 168. Now, immediately following the service, lunch will be served at the Big Pine Town Hall. This is courtesy of the Big Pine American Legion and Auxiliary, and that will be for veterans, their families, and guests. And the comrades of Lone Pine VFW Post 8036 inviting the public to attend their annual Veterans Day ceremony Wednesday, 11 a.m. at the Mount Whitney Cemetery. Lunch will be served at the post following the service. And boy, we received this really cool picture from Ted Gardner. Now, this was taken a couple of weeks ago in the Pacific Ocean off of Chile. Getting information that the carrier is the George Washington. Now, Ted and Bishop Mayor Pat Gardner's son, Lieutenant David Gardner, he was in the helicopter when this photo was taken as an operations officer. And we thank Ted Gardner for that very cool picture. And we want to send out a Sierra Wave Media salute to all veterans and those currently serving in protecting our country. And Dick Knowles, a man who selflessly has served his community for decades, died last week at the age of 82. Richard Dick Knowles passed away November 4th, Northern Inyo Hospital, following a year of treatment of lymphoma cancer. Dick was born in Palo Alto on June 23, 1933, to Catherine and Clifford Knowles. Dick graduated from Bakersfield High School in 1951, and he spent his summers on the Kern River, where he met his wife-to-be Pat when they were both 13 years old. Dick and Pat married in 1952 and had 2 sons, Rick and David. Dick Knowles went to work for Southern California Edison in Kernville before transferring to Oxnard, Torrance, and then to Bishop in 1966, where he retired in 1990. Dick Knowles enjoyed nearly 50 years of volunteer work in the Owens Valley, which he dearly loved. The success of these efforts he attributed to volunteers who made major contributions in labor, equipment, material, food, refreshments, and financial support. And one of the first projects was the expansion of the Bishop City Park, including the pond and the gazebo. Took 3 years to complete that job. In 1988, the Water for Wildlife project was started to introduce water sources to our local mountains to benefit wildlife. Now, this project lasted 20 years with the installation of 29 guzzlers. Over 100 volunteers installed the units, which are still in operation. And one of the project's dearest to Dick Knowles' heart was to establish an Eastern Sierra ATV, the Adventure Trail System in Inyo County, which continues to be an ongoing project. Over the years, handicap platforms have been installed at local ponds. In 1993, Dick Knowles was asked to gather volunteers to monitor radio collars on the Buttermilk deer herd winter range. And for the next 5 years, deer were monitored to determine the mortality rate and cause of fatalities. Dick Knowles is survived by his wife of 63 years, Pat, 2 sons, Rick and wife Bonnie of Lee Vining, and David and Jeannie of Bishop, 5 grandchildren and 4 great-grandchildren. Services are set for Saturday, November 21st, 1 p.m. at the First Presbyterian Church in Bishop, followed by a reception in Hillis Hall. Dick Knowles was a member of the First Presbyterian Church of Bishop for 49 years, where he looked upon his friends and his church family. In lieu of flowers, donations can be made to the Cancer Society or a charity of one's choice in memory of Dick Knowles.